and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Team B Presents. I am Bullet B, joined by my co-host,
Bill Mack, good sir.
How's your night going, sir?
Well, it's been kind of slow. It's been, I don't know, dude. There just ain't been much going on. I mean, the news world's kind of slow. Sports world's kind of slow. Gaming's world's kind of slow. So, just pretty much slow in general, man. Glad you called, man. Just wake me up a little bit. You know, there's nothing going on today. How about you? How's everything going?
The feeling's mutual, man. That's why I called you. So to wake up, you know, that's why. You know, we got to do that sometime. When I ain't getting no pussy, you know, I need something to wake me up once in a while. You know, coffee ain't working. You know, I played my games in my fucking hand. I get arthritis in my hands. So, you know, which I'm proud of that, but that's okay. You know, so. I just need something to wake me up once in a while. So I see what Team B's up to. Team B Bill is up to. It's been a while. You know, got to catch up.
Yeah, so, I know, man. I know the same feeling, dude. Because when you get your little bit of kitty cat, it makes your day just and your night go by so much better. You know what I mean? Because it's like all this time you have, you wouldn't even be thinking about that because you'd be in here in the bed, wherever you may be with your significant other. You know, doing your little thing, at least enjoying yourself and tied up in that, as opposed to when you're not getting it, it leaves all this open time for what? For nothing. I mean, I totally get that, man. I mean, like I said, sometimes your hand, you get a workout, cramp, work it out, you know. I mean, it can, you know, it gets tiring after a while. You know, it's always good to, you know, to have either a fresh hand or, you know, something else on it. It makes it a whole lot better than just with your own. So I totally understand that. I mean, that's just where I'm coming from. I feel you there. I totally can relate to that. So yeah, I get that, dude.
Well, when you're getting pussy, everything seems new again. You know, like your overall well-being is increased. You just feel good all the time. You're just in a good mood. You got something going on. That's what I was trying to, you know, say in my last episode, our last episode here. You know, it's just an easy motivation. That's all. You want to play. You want to do your activities more in your hobbies, and know when to put them down too. I know when to put the controller down, but it just makes stuff more enjoyable. You know, it's an easy fix. I don't need pussy. I won't, but I don't need. You know, I'm just saying it's like drugs. You know, you get some pussy, it's gonna put you in a good mood the next day. You know, you remember that movie Big with Tom Hanks?
Right.
When he got some pussy, he was, you know, walking around work the next day with a briefcase, all happy and shit, walking into the wall and falling on his ass in there. He was just in a good mood. You know, pussy is magical. It's magical. Yeah.
Yeah, but I see it. It's like this, man. It's like, especially when you go on these long times where you're not with nobody. You know, it makes you because your mind gets fixated and twisted out on this of the everyday life of not getting anything, because it's enough if you're watching porn or just stuff like that. I mean, that's just one thing, but when you get into the live action part of it, that's the great thing about it, man, because like, when you get in that relationship, when you get in that time, you share that time together with that other person, all these emotions, man, it starts over again. Nothing seems to pick up from where it was before the last time, because this experience is different. It's like you said, you're seeing it for the first time yet again, you know, and all those emotions building up, you know, sometimes nervousness, which, you know, that can happen, you know, and it being a while since you've had someone else on it instead of just you, you know, so it brings out the best of you. And like you said, it just refreshes the situation in which you're in, and you feel going. I'd be like Tom Hanks too. I definitely, if I was someone popping around the house too, you know, come on, you got to enjoy it, you know. And it's the best feeling in the world to know afterwards you've been with the girl, and that happens. It's the best feeling, man, to be satisfied, just to lay there in bed with a man. Or wherever you had, just laying there with them, which it was like it was with me. Just laying there with them, dude, and just holding them, man. You're tired, they tired. You feel you've been that two become one, and it all feels good. So, dude, I can totally relate that, man. It will give you a pep in your step after getting it from after a while of not, having it.
Yeah, man, I feel like I'm going to slip into a natural depression sometimes. I don't want to, but, like if I'm talking to a coworker or something, a female, and, we're not really, I feel like I'm starting to get feelings for her. I'm like, okay, is that me being depressed and out of desperation? 'Cause I'm like, that's what I'm worried about. I'm worried I'm going to fall into a relationship out of not desperation, but just out of pure loneliness sometimes. I'm not lonely, but sometimes it hits me, and I'm like, I don't want to end up with the wrong girl like that just because I'm lonely. Because I could be with a girl right now if I wanted to. You could too if you wanted to be, but we don't do it because we have standards.
Yeah.
Like when I was, friends with Rick, he would date and sleep with anybody because he was just lonely inside. Yeah, he was a nasty STD carrying person, but he was just lonely inside. I'm like, no, dude, you got to have standards. You got to wait because that's instant gratification, not long-term gratification,
Exactly.
So that's what I'm worried. I don't think I got a problem with that, but yeah, I don't want to, just date somebody just because I'm lonely was my point, but I don't think that's going to happen because it pretty much hits me when I'm talking to somebody I know I'm not going to be interested in. I'm like, okay, I'm just talking to her because I'm lonely. But I enjoy the conversation because I missed that part too. Just having a conversation with a nice girl.
Right.
Things like good conversation. That's the stuff you miss. I mean, pussy's, good and magical, but you also miss, spending time with her, having a conversation, going on dinner with her, just hanging out with her.
Right.
Smelling the roses together,
I get that, man.
Cars and stuff like that,
Well, it makes sense. I mean, it's like you said, you have to be very careful when it comes to that loneliness factor because, like you said, it can weigh down on you, man. That's one of the biggest burdens I think that we got that can weigh down on someone. Like we probably could be with people we wanted to. I mean, that's not a thing. But the thing is that, like you said, it's setting the standards of what you got. You don't want to be lower than a snake crawling on his belly on the ground. You don't want to be that low and take in anything that just comes along. You're right. That can only satisfy you for a little while, but you want to seek something out that's so much bigger than that. You want to be able to share those times, and it's just, knowing that you have interest with that person. It's like you said, you talk to them a little while and be very particular and keep your eyes open. You will pretty much know if that person's someone that you can actually talk to, or someone that's full of bullshit. And let me give you an example of that, my friend. Didn't tell you this here. My little friend I told you about that I was talking to off and on here. Her name was Sam. Yeah, she sent me a message the other day claiming she was out of the hospital now. Because I told you I had sent her a message telling her just how I felt about how she was adding me on Facebook, delete me off, and all these situations and stuff that she had been. The signal was bad in her area. Her making excuses up. Well, dude, what I didn't tell you was I laid that all on the line. I said, "Look here, what do you want to do?" I said, I have been stupid enough to be. I didn't say stupid to her, but I'm thinking.
Right.
But what I was trying to tell her was like, look, I'm trying to keep up with you more so than I have any ex I've ever been with. And I said, because I think I like you and I think that we get along real well. But I said, there's a lot of bullshit that I feel that has been going on here, and a lot of shadiness that has been going on here. And I said, look, if you want to be my friend on Facebook, that's good. If you just want to text message or talk and not be friends on Facebook, that's fine. But tell me where I'll know what to do, because this me bouncing in and out is not going to keep working. Either it's going to be that one way or the other. And so here's what she does. She sends me a message. Let me read this message to you. If you got it real quick, I've got it saved up here. Let me find it. Here we go, right here. Okay, all right. She says, Well, I know we went through a lot. Here's what I don't get. She says, well, I know we've been through here a lot. We've been through a lot, and I love you and always will, but I think we should just stay friends. I don't want to lose you completely out of my life. And I'm like, I didn't ask to date you. I'm just trying to figure out what you want. I'm just trying to figure out if you want to be friends on Facebook, or do we need to try to continue being friends? I'm not trying to date you. I didn't say, hey, do you want, let's you and I date. That was nowhere, not even in the question. So I just said that's fine. I respect that, and that was all. And she said, thank you back. And that was the end of it. I'm like, how the fuck can she be that delusional? Like some females can be, not all, but some can be delusional from what you're telling them.
Yeah, like that one. Yeah. I got you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
and that's what I'm saying, dude. That makes no sense at all for her to be that way. Because she's like, I love you. I said, hey, it wasn't about that. I said, I'm just trying to find out, what you're wanting to do. Do you want to talk on the computer or what? And it's like, yeah, exactly. So, but I just let it. Oh, and get this. Here's what's funny, Bullet. I sat there tonight and typed her letter in. I was trying to type a letter in for her name. Guess what? She's already got this dude's picture beside her, and this dude are in a picture together.
Oh.
So this whole time, this bullshit she's run all this time about, oh, I've lost signal. Oh, I've been wanting to talk to you. Oh, you're the only one that makes me smile. Sends fucking cards in your mailbox and everything saying, oh, Bill, you make me smile. Oh, Bill, you make me happy. All that bullshit. And then all this shadiness. Damn women shady, my friend. That's the ones you got to watch out for. Like you said, one of your YouTube shows, shading, what was it? Ladies are shady?
Those shady ladies or some shit.
Shady. Yeah, she was shady.
All she had to do was be honest with you the whole time.
Dude, it don't hurt to say.
Yeah.
It don't yet. Go ahead.
I said they're so scared to hurt your feelings. They rather lie to you about everything in the world and tell you somebody's sick before they tell you the truth. All they got to say is, I'm not interested. I'm sorry. That's all they got to say. You know, I like somebody else. Sorry, I like somebody else. That's all they got to say. Exactly. But they rather give you the runaround and tell you somebody's sick, or they got in the car. They tell you everything in the world. They tell you the president died before they tell you the truth.
Don't go in the back. Here's the way I feel about it, man. And I agree with you. Don't go in the backyard and take a shit and pile it on top and make a mountain out of it, and not and just when you simply could just go back and tell me, hey, I took a shit in the backyard. Easily tell me. You ain't got to beat around the bush. I'm a grown man. I don't need to be worried about my feelings. I'm not a 15-year-old little boy. I don't worried about my feelings. My thoughts are when we get our ages, dude. All those thoughts like that is long gone, man. All we want is a woman, to be honest. If she's interested, that's good. If she's not interested, that's fine. We can handle it. It's not that hard to do, Bullet, but she don't seem to get that. And then next thing you see is her and another dude's picture, and you're thinking, what kind of bullshit is she going through when she could have simply told me that she was not interested, that she was talking to someone else. But I wasn't trying to go with her. I was just trying to ask her, how were we going to be friends if she still wanted that? Because you go from taking your add friends, you can take your add friend thing off of your Facebook page. She did that. And I said, why is it off of there? If you don't want to be your friend, tell me, oh, no, somebody hacked my account. Bull fucking shit. Nobody's hacked your account. Taking me off as a friend. Take your add me as a friend button off and then put it back up there. Now, that's just stupid. Flat out stupid.
Yeah. We're the only adults, man. We're just being adults, and they're not very good liars, No, I had a girl tell me, I had a girl unfriend me on Facebook and tell me that somebody hacked into her account and unfriended me and deactivated her account. I said, bullshit, you were active 1 minute ago. I said, just be honest. I said, okay, you're obviously not interested. It's cool. That's all you had to say. And then she was like, oh, no, I am interested. I am. I was like, look, I'm giving you a way out. You know, you're not interested. I get it. Goodbye. Yeah. Crazy.
You know, it's like if men and women, most of the women, what we talk to is what you and I talk about, because it's our situations. They need to understand and learn that you make decisions and what you choose to do and choose not to do. But you got to learn that we're adults here. We're no longer those kids in middle school. We're no longer those kids in little grades that basically, you know, that need to be pampered and pacified and change their diapers. Just be honest with us and tell us, you know, it may hurt for a little bit. Sure, that's natural if you like the person per se, but then you get over it and you move on with it. You know, it's not something that you can hold on to, you know, and that was the thing you and I talked about a while back is that is not letting a person, if you don't get too close, you watch them. Be careful. Don't get yourself too emotionally involved unless you know their situation. So, I know that thing.
Yeah,
but that was the end of it, dude. I kind of let that go, man.
I don't blame you.
Yeah, so I'm all good with that now, though, man. It's not so bad now, you know. I just basically am just doing what I'm doing. I mean, it don't bother me a bit, you know. It's just amazing how stuff like that can be. People can be so full of crap that they have to see that they can't be honest with you enough to tell you what's going on. You know, that's the sad part.
Yeah, I just have fun just being flirtatious on the internet sometimes, or in reality out there. You know, I just have fun being flirtatious, like with Miss Chicken Wing. You know, that's about it. She likes having her little ego fed now. Oh, she loves that. You know, nobody feeds her ego like I do, because I send, like, you know, I'm not really kissing her ass or anything. I probably would, but I just give her like really sincere, really good swagger talk, you know, just here and there talk. I send her a really good picture, you know. She'll say, wow, that foreigner's a really nice man, is what she'll say. But that's about as far as it goes, you know.
Well, I get that, dude. You know, you don't want to try to, because you have to find the right woman to find out if she's worth you going over the edge for, you know. I mean, that's really it.
Yeah, if Miss Wayne cuts me off, guess what? I'll find somebody else. I already got somebody else, you know.
Well, that's the way you look at it.
Yeah, we're just, you know, playing around. That's all. But trust me, I mean, she posted. She's kind of egotistical. I mean, she's a young girl. That's how young girls are. She posted a very lovely picture of herself in a dress and all that stuff, and she's like, if she said to my friends that don't, you know, like or interact, I'm gonna delete you guys. I said, well, you ain't got to worry about me, because I'm always liking your post and giving you comments and stuff like that. So all of her guy friends were sending her picture comments like smiley face or flowers or some shit. I sent her fucking engagement ring. I said, top that. I said, top that. She said, oh, that's so sweet. See, she remembers me for that shit, you know.
Right.
I sent the best one, and, you know, I'm a good humanitarian. You know, I care about the world. I care about animals and things like that. So I sent her, you know, stuff like that, and she said, oh, he's so sweet. You know? So, yeah.
Dude, it's I don't know, buddy.
She loves cats, so I send her that. She's like, oh. Everybody else sends smiley faces. I send, you know, stuff like that. It's very easy to do. All you got to do is Google it, ladies and gentlemen. You're like, well, how do I get advanced pictures like that to send to a girl on Facebook? Just fucking Google it. Google cute pictures for female or something like that. Best flower pick, engagement ring, and fucking send it to somebody as a flirt, you know. But you got to be careful with the engagement ring, because I was like, okay, she's either going to like it or delete me. And she liked it. So, and she's like, hey, you want to do that one day? I'll be like, hell yeah. You know, I'll marry her. Shoot, it'd be worth the divorce and all that. Shoot. Which I wouldn't divorce her. I'd be like, honey, you're going nowhere.
Well, you know. I just feel like, dude, over the years, man, I've dedicated my whole life to trying to please and pacify and throw zillions and zillions of comments to females, man. I have. But you know, dude, just kind of find out, I'm just tired of it. Not to say give compliments, because you know that's exactly what you're supposed to do. Any respected guy will compliment a woman, but it's just this: I'm going to kiss her ass so much that it's wet all over. You know,
Nah,
that's just too much. Because are they really worth that? You know, or is that person worth all this ass kissing you're doing?
No, because they'll see right through it. They'll see right through it. So instead of me sending like flirt pictures all the time, I'll say good morning, Miss Wang, and I'll send her something like that. You know, have a great day, and I won't say nothing else to her, and it fucks with her head because I'm not sitting there kissing her ass and asking her how she's doing every 5 minutes. Right. I'll talk to her every 3 or 4 days. I'll send her like a have a good day thing just to let her know I ain't forgot about her. Just being interactive, that's all. But I'm not kissing her ass like these other guys are. That's the only way I can stand out. You know, is to be different, is to play hard to get, and to have standards, which I have standards anyway. I'm not going to sit there and talk to her anyway if she ain't going to talk back. So right. I send her one thing and I wait on her to say something. It's like that. And then when she says something, I don't say nothing at all for about a week, just to fuck with her, make her desire me more. So she ain't got to worry about that, because I know that's a turn off. Women can see through that, you know, so that's not the way to go, you know. Yeah. So I was talking to this girl in the gas station, and a couple of times prior, I went in there and, you know, I just didn't even look at her until I had to, and it was a girl that I knew. And finally, she spoke to me. She said, "Hey, Bullet, what's up?" I was like, "Hey, how you doing?" You know, make them talk first. I'm tired of always having to talk first. Let them talk first. It fucks with her head because they don't know how to talk first. A lot of times they're surprised by that. Oh, he's not going to speak to me. I got to speak first. Like, hell yeah, you got to speak first. They're not used to, because they say, "Why haven't you talked to me lately?" I flip and say, "Why haven't you talked to me lately? It's your turn to talk to me. Why have I got to say something all the time first?" You know, I'm not being rude. It's your turn to say hello to me. You should say hello to me sometime. I'm nothing special, but I'm not better than anybody else, but neither are you, is what I try to get across to the female. Right. You know,
yeah, women.
I walk into the store, I don't have to say hello every time. You say hello to me, then I'll talk. You know, I'm waiting on them. That's
right. And I understand that. That's right. It's because women are so caught sitting down in their ways when they talk about they want to be independent. You know, you hear them, "Oh, I want to be an independent woman. I don't need a man this, I don't need a man that." That's fine. Well, then if you want to live in the street,
they don't want to do. They don't want to be independent. That's just a cool thing to say. That's just a catchphrase, because all women are seeking security. All women have a guy they're talking to. They're not loners like we are. I mean, we go for several months, couple of years without a female, without a girlfriend. How long does a girl go without a man in the picture? They always got a man they're talking to. Mm-hmm. So they're never truly 100% independent, in my opinion.
So we can have female friends that we're friends with and go weeks or months or even years be just their friend, you know, and not even.
I'll give you a quick example. It's like my ex Destiny. In her case, she always said she's Miss Independent. She don't need nobody. But at the same time, she's always with somebody. She was always with me, Richard, and Mr. Burger. She was always with him, you know, saying she didn't need nobody, Miss Independent, while she's with that guy or looking for somebody like, you know, Mr. Cheeseburger guy, Mr. Burger at the same time. She's not truly independent. That's the best example I can give you right there. So how can she say she's an independent person when she's always leeching off somebody? Yeah. You know what I mean? That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, you make perfect sense with that. I mean, that's the way it was with my ex.
I overanalyze it. I think too much, which is another thing a girl will tell you. When you have a girl trapped verbally, they'll say, "Oh, you think too much. You read into it too much." Like, yeah, because I care. what you're saying doesn't make any sense. You're contradicting yourself, you know.
Women come into a relationship thinking the guy is stupid and don't think about it. You really flip them up when you're actually a student of studying that relationship, studying what's going on. And when you call her out on it, she's like, "Oh, you think too much." No, I'm actually thinking about what it really is. See, women expect you to be the dummy and them to be the ones that are the smart ones of the two out of the relationship. And it just don't always work like that. You and I think, okay, we even think 2 steps ahead of what's really going on or where it's leading to, or you can kind of see down the road where it's coming at. So I totally get that, dude. And you're absolutely right when it comes to that, you know, and there's nothing wrong with that is you're just thinking about it.
You got to use your past experiences as a way to kind of predict the future. You know, if a girl's saying these kind of things to you and you've seen this before and you experienced this before, you can probably predict what's going to happen. Like if she's ignoring you, for example, oh, that just means she's talking to somebody else or something like that, just for, you know, a quick example. But women are not used to dating guys like us, guys with intelligence. So, you know, guys are generally not good with women anyway, as far as communication goes, generally speaking. So they might date a few stupid guys that are really smart. They're just not good as far as listening to a woman, knowing how they think and feel and so on and so forth. So when you get with guys like us that's got the experience and know how to talk to them on an intellectual level, it fucks with their head. And they'll tell us stupid shit like, oh, my Facebook got hacked, it got deleted or deactivated. Like, bullshit. We're not the stupid guy, you know.
I know that.
We're also, we got emotional intelligence, you know. Some women ain't used to that, you know.
Well, you think about it.
We think with both heads now, because used to guys were the players. In the modern era, women are the players. So we have to think with both our heads, man. We the ones getting played. Women are the players. They're just good at hiding it. Well, they think they're good at hiding it. You know, that's all it is. And and then them fucking feminist groups, man, they full of shit, dude, because they'll say things just because they can get away with it. So I used to say I'm not an anti-feminist, but that's because I didn't really, watch a lot of feminist videos. And then I'm like, okay, well, they're just abusing the system. They're going, a bunch of women, a feminist group can go on Oprah and talk about a man's pee-pee being that big, but you let a men's group go on Oprah show and talk about a girl not having no ass and got a face like a horse, we'll get criticized for it. We'll say we're bullies and we get, called all kinds of names, but it's okay for women can get away with more shit than we can get away with, is what I'm saying.
It's double standard, dude. That's all that boils down to. It's double standard. Yeah. Women get that treatment because they want to play on the women are inferior card, but then they get mad at you because they don't want to be seen as inferior. So what are you supposed to be? Are they inferior or not? Do they feel inferior or not? Do they feel like they're being treated, or they feel like they're not inferior, that they're not being treated that way? They bounce back and forth with so much. It's like you're talking about in a relationship. Women will get burnt. They don't learn after time after time and time. You and a guy, you and me, we can get in one relationship, get burned at once, and pick up so much out of that being burnt once so that we don't be foolish enough to fall in that next and behind. We're always thinking about all that's going around in that next relationship and everyone after. So we don't get to play the fool in it. We don't get step in that trap like we did before, and that definitely ain't going to happen, especially like with Sweet Pea, the way she did, and finding out after we broke up that she was with another guy 2 months later. See, stuff like that ain't going to happen. I will never fall in that trap again. That's why I am like I am now. Very watchful, very careful. That was and that was a mutual breakup. That wasn't even something that was like I broke up with her, she broke up with me, but yet 2 months later, instead of her getting the help she needed, she wanted to go off and find someone else because she had to have somebody else. But I told her I told her, dude, I said, look, Sweet Pea, I said, you and I ever end up breaking up for whatever reason, I said, I can't give my heart to nobody else because I've gave all my heart and emotions and everything to you. I've still held on to that, because really, dude, I'm not into dating, I'm not into being with nobody. But you see her, she's supposed to be so in love with me, 4 years, engaged, all this other stuff. And now she goes up, marries a goober, and is pregnant, has a kid, a little baby now, and there she is now back, I think, by herself. So where does that little train take you to?
And then she tried talking to you out of the blue because she's lost, man. You know, she depends on another person to help her feel fulfilled. She don't know herself. She's lost. She ain't forced to be alone by herself for a good amount of time like we have, to where we have to overcome the odds. You know, I don't have another girl I could just talk to when one leaves me, if I'm dating one. You know, there's always a girl you can talk to, like being flirtatious and whatnot. I'm talking about relationship. If I get out of a relationship, I can't just find another girl just like that. And these women, they fall in this trap. I kind of feel sorry for them because they're never single long enough. They always got to be with Tom and Jerry when Brandon breaks up with them, or vice versa.
Right.
You know, must be nice. Like I told Destiny, I said, at least you got somebody. I don't have anybody. You know, I got to have all these lonely weekends by myself and all that. You ain't got to worry about nothing. You know, he's like, oh, you'll find somebody else, and I still ain't found somebody else. You know, well, I found a few, but you know what I mean. It's going in circles. Nothing that really sticks. But that's cool. Right. You know, because I've learned a lot through it. You've learned a lot from your past experiences. That's what I'm saying. Like, if we're talking to somebody new, we got enough experience to know what the deal is. You know, if they're doing something shady, we can kind of detect it right off the bat. You know, or my thing is just try to keep it honest and just, you know, always talk to them. If you have any concerns with the girl, just be honest with her about it. Just try not to come off as being, don't be too protective or too possessive, but it's fair to ask those kind of questions. You know, especially if she's acting, if you got probable cause, it's okay to ask the girl where she's been at all week, or why she's been ignoring you, why you acting different. It's okay to ask them questions without being possessive if you have probable cause to do so. You know, look, I got reasons to ask. I'm not being possessive. I got reasons to ask you this.
Dude, it's easy. It's routine.
Yeah.
When your girl's routine changes, there's something wrong. Okay?
Exactly.
Think about it. Let's say you come into work. You go into work at 8 o'clock until 5, like my schedule.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
You come into work on my schedule until 4 o'clock, right? Then you end up coming home. Let's say you're talking to the girl on the phone from the time you leave from 4 till 5 o'clock for 1 hour every day. Okay, let's say then time you eat and stuff, you call her again, you get online, you talk to her from like 6 until 10 o'clock, and then you go to bed. All right, let's say that happens from us. Then let's say that call you talk to her from 4 to 5 after work, all of a sudden now she's not there, or she's busy. Not just one day, but it starts getting to be first it's one day, then maybe another day the next week, and maybe 2 days the following week. And then all of a sudden when you hang up with her and you call her back at 6 o'clock for you two to share your online time together, she has stuff to do now all of a sudden. So her routine has changed. So then you're thinking, okay, why is her routine changing now? What's going on different in her life if she still wants to share time? That's where you find out. That's where you get those questions come in, because you notice in your mind that things are different now, and there's a change in her routine and pattern of behavior she's acting towards you.
Pattern. That's exactly right, man. When I talk to a girl now, I try to remember everything she says, and I try to, remember them patterns, like her schedule and when she talks to me. And that way, if something changes, I can kind of see it coming, It's okay to do that. And you can always say, well, it's out of love. She's like, why do you remember everything I say? Like, because I'm not being a lawyer. I just love you. That's why. I'm just paying attention to you. I just remember the shit. So you just said it perfectly. When they start changing, when the pattern starts changing, you notice that. When she's not calling you at 9 o'clock every night like she was doing before. What's up with that? oh, I was busy. I was at the movies or something. Well, okay. Then the next night she don't call you at 9 or something. You know, just things change. And then you end up wanting to buy one of these. Hey, you remember that blow up doll on YouTube, the silicone blow up doll video?
Yeah.
I might put that in my YouTube show. Like when I say be right back after this, then show the silicone blow up doll video, like 2-minute video. That'd be fucking hilarious. Because it is an advertisement video. Find an advertisement blow up doll video, an advertisement one, and throw it in there. It'd be hilarious. It'd be hilarious.
Oh, so you're giving your little you're giving your YouTube show audience a little sneak peek and kind of behind the scenes at what you might do for your show later on, huh? So
yeah. This is an open discussion. You know, I can talk about what things that are coming up, but yeah, I talk about blow up dolls a lot in my YouTube show. So why not run a blow up commercial during the commercial break? That'd be hilarious. I think. You know, I'm trying to keep it more positive, but that's something dark Brandon can do. Dark Mirror Universe Brandon can do. You know, it just is be full of blow doll commercials. That'd be hilarious, man. Boo! You start. I'll be right back after this. You see his blow doll. Only 3 payments of $19.99. You know, you can get this. $19.95. Only 3 payments, you can get it.
That'd be funny. But I mean, that's the truth, dude. I mean, you know, when it comes to the women like that, dude, that's what you were saying, man. You know, it's just how much they think how foolish they think that you are because they think you don't think like you like they do, and then when you actually do and call them out, it's just funny the reactions they give you, though. But I'm just glad I'm not clingy like that, man. I'm glad that I don't feel like I got to hang on to a girl just to be happy, you know. I've got to be happy myself, you know.
Yeah, and it's a daily practice, man, a daily challenge to be happy alone, man. Because like we were saying in the last episode about motivation to do things, you know. We have to keep ourselves motivated. That's why we do these talks, man, to keep each other company, to keep each other motivated. It's good therapy, man. So we get in trouble. I mean, we feel like we're slipping into a depression or falling asleep. You know, I call you, wake you up, and vice versa. Things like that. So, you know.
Yeah, it's always good, man, because
it's nice to see. It's nice to think about. Don't let it drive you crazy. And then when you have good arguments, like you're saying. But when you have good arguments, they call you psycho. They call you possessive. They call you crazy. Like, no, I'm the one that cares. But when they start talking like that, they're pretty much gone anyway. I'm like, well, how can you say this when you said that? I thought you loved me. Like, oh, you just read into things too much. You're just crazy. You're psycho. I'm like, oh, I'm a psycho for remembering all the good times we had, all the nice words you said to me. I'm crazy for remembering that, which I ain't had a girl tell me that I can remember. But, yeah, I think Gary might have said that, but it was all out of love. I said, okay, you just don't want to talk to me no more. But don't call me crazy for remembering all the good times we had when I bring it up. You know, when I have a good argument, oh, I'm just crazy, which is just an easy way out, you know, for them. That's just a way for them to get out of an argument. Hey, if the man's right, just tell him he's crazy or something. Tell him he overanalyzes things too much. You know.
Well, dude, I agree with you. Here's the 2 things I've learned. One is be very precise in what you say. 2 is be very technical about what you say and what you do. You never, because when you get a female that thinks she's smarter than you, she's going to try to say, are you trying to say this or are you trying to say that when you're talking? And then you're like, no, this is what I'm saying. Here's, okay, like this. I said, I'll give you an example of what I'm trying to say. Let's say that you say, okay, Steve shouldn't have said that. That was real stupid. That's what I said. Okay. She says, don't call Steve stupid. And I said, I didn't say Steve was stupid. I said what he was doing was stupid. There's a difference in saying Steve is a stupid person than saying Steve is doing something that's stupid. That's where you have to be very mindful in what you say. I learned that little master technique dealing with Sweet Pea when her and I were together, because she was always, and you know this, she's always questioning, always precise. I was always having to explain. I mean, hell, I could have got my degree, doctorate in a degree or something, as much talk as I had to do.
Yeah, you're pretty good with it, man. And then they just call you. Then they just say, "Oh, you're just being a smart ass. You're just being a smart ass." Like, no, I'm just trying to make sense of things, you know. I didn't, say the person was stupid. I said what he's doing is stupid. There's a difference there.
You just got to be smart, man. Be logical.
Yeah. Then they call you. Then they call you a smart ass for it. So you can't win either way. So I don't say nothing anymore. I'm just like, okay, whatever. Well, you're not going to believe what I say anyway, or listen to me, or understand my logic. So I'm not going to say anything at all to you, girl. And they're like, what? What'd you say? That fucks with them too. You
get mentally tired, dude. That's draining. Fussing with a woman is one of the most mentally draining things you could ever do. And that is one of the arguing with a woman, because it makes you tired, man. It's like the Undertaker did when Brock Lesnar had him, man. It makes you want to tap out. Even when the ref can't see it, it makes you want to tap out. And that's what it did, man, because it's like, why aren't you saying nothing? You're like, honey, I don't want to argue. I don't feel like arguing. I don't want to argue, because you get tired of it, man. I just want to tap out. Just quit. I quit. Just don't put me through it, You just want to leave that alone and do it. So, yeah, makes me want to do the Brock Lesnar. Just give her the middle finger and then go ahead on with it.
Yeah, I was laying in the bed with a woman one time, and she just trying to start up these arguments. Oh, I don't like your attitude today. Why you got to be this way? I'm like, I ain't said nothing. Well, what you talking about? And she's like, well, if you're not going to argue with me, I'm going to leave. I said, bye-bye. And she actually left. And then she called me up. She's like, why didn't you chase after me? Why didn't you argue? I said, girl, I'm too old for these games. I know exactly what you're doing. I said, I'm older than you. I see right through this shit. You're just in a bad mood. You want to take it out on me. And I didn't feel like arguing with you just because you're in a bad mood. I didn't appreciate that. So I just didn't argue with you. I didn't even say anything. You just assumed this, assumed that, and just left. And you thought I was going to chase after you, but I didn't. And I knew you was going to call me back. I didn't tell her that part. I figured she would. But
well, that's the thing about being.
She was a bitch, man. She was just in a bitchy mood that day. You want to come there and bitch with me? Then she's going to say, well, you don't want me here. You don't want me here. I said, I never said that. I said, it seems like you don't want to be here yourself. And you're trying to twist it around and say that I don't want you here when I ain't said nothing. I mean, why you got to blame
I hate that. Yeah, I hate that twisting of my words around. Oh, you're trying to say this. Oh, you're trying to say that. I'm like, no, I'm not. I'm telling you what I'm saying. There's no trying about it. Trying means you're attempting. I'm actually completing what I'm trying to say to you. So but that's one of the best things, dude, about being single. You don't have to deal with that mind-breaking bullshit. You know that. You don't have, if you want to watch porn, watch it. You want to strangle your wang, hey, that's your issue. You ain't got to explain why you want to do. Whatever you want to do in this time, you ain't got to explain and give no reason for nothing. Because once you do, that's when you're all screwed right there. And that's why I'm glad. I'm glad I don't have to give no reason. If I want to flirt with somebody or do whatever, I ain't got to give no reason for it. I don't got to spend all night through the daytime talking. Dude, you wouldn't believe the times I had to stay up explaining to this woman this situation and that one and not go to sleep and have to go straight into work. So many days was like that lost on account of me explaining because she was illogical. That's right. What happens, And so I'm glad I don't have to deal with that shit no more. I'm glad I ain't got to do that no more, man. Even though that like you said in the beginning of the video, the depression and sometimes loneliness, it's natural, but that's natural. It happens. It's human nature for us to be that way from time to time. But it don't get us down because we know we're much better off right now because that right one's not in our lives. If they were, then we wouldn't be by ourselves.
Yeah, we just have to keep things like that. You never forget the lesson in a past relationship, So, it helps keep you happy now. And it's all about keeping the mind happy, really. So I try to avoid, you know, slipping in them depressions and all that. But I just ain't gonna put up with it. You know, I want a girl that's very compatible with me and very quiet. That'd be nice. And I don't think I'm going to find that. So, you know, I'm happy alone. You know, I want, but I don't need, you know. So I just ain't going to put up with it. The going back and forth all the time. I mean, I'm a different person now. I mean, sometimes it's fun, but I ain't sitting there putting up with that shit every day. You know, trying to out-argue the girl because, you know, I got bored with Addie because she couldn't hang with me. I was I was 9 years older than her. And she was just trying to say that I couldn't out-argue her. I'm like, oh, please. You're not even worth arguing with. And I was quiet one time. She said, why are you so quiet? Why don't you have nothing to say? I said, I'm just dumbfounded by the stupidity of it.
Right.
What do I say to something? What do I say to an argument like that? I said, get the hell out of my house. You know, you can't hang with me. And then she broke up with me because I wouldn't argue with her. I said, I just don't need the shit. I don't want to argue. I'm too old for that stuff. When I was 21, 22, sure. I argue with a bitch. I wouldn't even argue with her a little bit. But if I was drunk or something back then, but,
yeah.
You know, I didn't know any better sometimes. But hell, I mean, it was just funny. It depends on who it was. You know, get drunk and call her some, you know, say, well, the only reason I slept with you was because I was drunk, you know. So, but that happened. That goes either way. A girl could get drunk just to sleep with you, you know. I mean, what if a girl told me that, she'd say, well, Brandon, like if Miss Wayne, for example, said the only reason I slept with you was because I was drunk. And I'd be like, well, that don't hurt my feelings, thanks, you know. Get drunk more often, you know. Hell, that don't bother me, shoot. Well,
yeah, I'd get you there.
That's different. But if you sleep with a girl just because you're drunk, that's really going to hurt her feelings. Because she's just going to feel like she ain't pretty, she ain't good enough. You know, you straight up tell a girl, like, hey, you know, the only reason I slept with you is because, you know, I had 7 Michelob's instead of, you know, just a 6-pack. I had 7, 8, you know, and then when I get around to 7, 8 bottles, you know, I start looking at you in a different way. So, you know, I was just a little tipsy last night. That's the only reason I slept with you, honey, you know.
Yeah, I understand that, man.
Like, would you sleep with me if you were not intoxicated or intoxicated? I'd be like, hell no. You know, that's mirror Brandon talking, you know. I don't mean but would you sleep with me if you weren't intoxicated? Hell no, I would not.
You say you get more prettier by each bottle.
Boo. Boo.
But it's the truth, though, man. You get tired of that, or they have some social disorder, you know.
Oh man, I'll start on that.
You know, just
you got what? She said I got a talking disorder, a social disorder. I said, what you gonna order again? Say what? You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's all right, man.
It's like the way she would say, and Don Tony does this too. They have a problem saying the word raw. Monday Night Raw, they say raw. You know, they drag it out. Yeah, I was watching Raw, you know. Got a social disorder, and I was watching Monday Night Raw. Yeah. They have a problem with that. They can't say raw. It's just raw. You know, they got like 3 or 4 syllables in it. Raw. You know. Yeah, I was watching Monday Night Raw. Yeah, raw. There's another word too. Raw. You know,
raw,
that they say
raw.
Yeah. You've heard Don Tony say that. He'd be like, last week on Raw, you know, he'll drag it out, you know.
Yeah.
Like, I saw Kevin Castle, but I didn't say nothing to him. I just said I saw him when we was watching Raw, you know.
That's that Italian accent he has, man.
Yeah, like it's such a challenge to say the word raw. It's like raw, you know, like a chainsaw. Chainsaw, you know. So I saw it, you know, and I was watching Raw, you know. Man, dude, just say raw.
It is. Oh, I can't stand to correct her, man. I was thinking about her trying to correct my language. How I'm supposed to talk. Oh, it's not oil. Oil.
I mean, yeah, the only thing I have trouble saying is like Star Trek, Captain Kirk episodes with when the translator on the ship, her name is Ahura, you know, and I say it very passionately, but that's just the only way I can say it. Ahura. You know, let Don Tony say it. He'd be like, blah, 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 blah. He'd be like, Ahura, you know. He'd say, Nakika, Nakika. I don't speak Japan, Nakika. So,
yeah, but I did, man. I couldn't stand that, man. She was up there trying to tell me how to speak. You know, it's like I say hi, eyes. My eye is very high. You can hear it in my voice. And she was trying to tell me how to say hi, hi. I'm like, what? I can't say. It's not I'm saying hi, hi. You know, you hear it, and the voice is just oil. So I said oil in my car. Oil, O-I-L. And she's like, oil, it's oil. O-I-L.
They'll say oil. Did you watch Raw? Raw?
Yeah, but they say, what they say is use, man. They say, like, instead of y'all, how y'all doing? They say use, Y-O-U-S. That means you plus more S. Use, how you's doing. I'm saying, you telling me to say oil, but yeah, you can say use with an S? Come on now. Silly.
There was this guy from up north. He was in AutoZone a while back, and he was in front of me in line, and he was talking to the sales rep. The sales rep was like, oh, what you need? And he said, I need an alternator. He said, a what? An alternator. And I was like, oh, an alternator. You know, it took me a second to figure out what he was saying because he was like, alternator. I said, a what? A Terminator. You know. So I know what the fuck he's talking about. He said he wants some kind of Terminator for his vehicle. I said, damn, that sounds badass. It's like, oh, he means alternator, not ordinator or alternator. You know?
I'm for my rock.
Yeah, my friend Goonie, we play pinball online. She said, you want to play that Star Wars table? I said, that what? That Star Wars table. S-T-A-W, Star Wars. You know? But I don't know how good Miss Wayne's English is, but, you know, if her and I was having a good time and she starts saying, yappy-ka, 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 I'll say yappy-ka with her. So,
you don't speak Japan?
I don't speak Japan. I don't speak Taiwan. But I will say yappy-ka. Copying Don Tony there because he's never going to watch this video.
Yeah. Plus, he'd probably give us a shout out, man. That'd be cool if he did.
Yeah, right. I'll be trying to holler at him on Twitter. I sent him,
dude. No, not trying to cut you off, but we ought to do like Solo Monster, man. We're just send a donation where he can mention like our hangouts with our hangout stuff, man. That'd be cool to get him to mention that. You know, what is it, like $30? And he'll mention your name and your podcast or your hangout, whatever.
I think it's $10 or more will get your name announced or whatever, something like that. But yeah, that's a good idea. You know,
and get it recognized.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, I'm just saying that I believe it was Solar Monster 10 to get your like a nickname, but you get like 30. I think is you get like a shirt and you get your you get a nickname and you get your podcast or your, since we don't have a podcast, we have a hangout. This is our way of getting our stuff out on YouTube, which to me is just as good as getting our Team B hangout announced on there. You know, that'd be awesome.
Well, yeah, he'll say any kind of show, he'll plug it. So, you know, YouTube, that's very common. You know, it don't have to be just podcasts. It could be a YouTube show.
Yeah. You know,
like the RCWR show, they're YouTube only. It's a little wrestling show, and Missionary Thomas will plug them once in a while. I've heard him mention them once in a while, and they're just a YouTube show. You know, he say, hey, check out the RCWR show with so and so. I can't remember his name, but they're pretty good, but they're, you know, not as good as Don Tony and them. You know, I got enough podcasts I listen to.
Right.
But did you hear what Don Tony said about Solid Monster Monday? At the end of it, did you listen to Monday's show? Yeah.
What did he say? And then I don't know if he did or not because I might have.
He said, I'll plug. He said, I'll plug Solid Monster show, but what times he come come on the air. Nobody will give me a time that Solid Monster comes on. Oh, he's not recorded live. Okay, Sunday afternoons. Okay, check him out then. Yeah, like he didn't want to do it. But, yeah, because there was a little bit of heat there about a year ago. DT thinks everybody's forgot about it. But there used to be a lot of people say, hey, fuck you, DT. We're going to listen to Solid Monster. And he'll say, fuck Solid Monster. Go listen to Solo Monster if you like him. And he'll take little shots like that. And he even said that me and Solid Monster would never do a show because our personalities would conflict with each other. That's what DT said about a year ago, but nobody remembers that. You know, if I could remember what episode it was, you know, it'd be funny to record it and play it, send it to his ass. But,
well, remember, I was playing this. Oh, like this right here. You want to listen to this clip here? A second. Can you listen to it?
Yeah.
All right, listen to what he says here if I can find it.
Percent of the people, 95% of the people that listen to all of these shows.
Can you hear it?
Just tune on the download. They don't tune in live, so doesn't matter. Thursday you'll get your soup. Tonight you'll get breakfast with Lassie, and you'll also get the Throwbacks Wrestling podcast. And we spread the love a little bit. You know, speaking of other shows, I mentioned this on YouTube earlier today. And by the way, shout out to all our listeners that frequent YouTube, especially Trax's channel. You know, people are very vocal over there.
They'll get to it, man.
Over there. I have no problem. People debating us, you know, disagreeing with us. But, you know, to just one ridiculous thing. Can you please, people, stop fucking comparing our show to this guy, Solo Monster, or In Your Head, or In Your Pants, or blah, 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 or blah, 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 blah. You know, I tell each and every one of our listeners, I welcome everybody listening to tune into his show, to tune into Meltzer's show, to tune into Evan Ginsberg's show, which was great. I hope he's still around. Haven't tuned in a while. To Phil's show. You can listen to as many shows you want. You know, there's a lot of other shows out there that are petrified to mention someone else's show. Why? Because they are afraid that if their listeners get wind of another show out there, that they may actually choose that other show from now on over their own. You know, the bottom line is, Kevin Castle and myself, as far as Don Tony and Kevin Castle's show goes, you could go do the research. We had just about 3 million downloads last year.
He's bragging now.
Right. On Stitcher, not only in the top 5
but
for like the last 6 months.
But you see,
amongst just people, check out any shows you like. If you don't like our show, that's the one thing that baffles me. I can't stand Opera. It sucks. I can't watch it. I used to be a huge basketball fan, but I don't know. After like the Knicks, I would say around the year 2000, I just lost a lot of just a.
This is Opera, right?
Basketball.
Right.
I don't watch hockey for the most part. Ever since the Rangers won in '94 and Messi and Leach and everybody else retired, that was pretty much it for me. All right, but I haven't watched a hockey game in years. You don't see me going on hockey Facebook pages and commenting about hockey since I don't watch it, okay? If I don't like opera, I'm not going to listen to opera every fucking week. If I don't like opera, I'm not going to go on opera's Facebook pages and websites and write all this stupid shit. Oh, I'd rather listen to solo opera. I'd rather listen to In Your Opera Head. I'd rather listen to... If you don't like us, why the fuck are you on a page? That fucking baffles the shit out of me. You ain't pissing us off.
So, okay, but you kind of get the idea. He was so pissed off, man. I found that the other day because you were talking about that, and I was actually trying to find that. So just amazing he gets pissed off at the little stuff, dude. And really, it's all just...
Yeah, you're going an hour-long rant about it, too.
Yeah.
He said to Pat, fuck Solo Monster. He said that before. He thinks we forgot about it. But he'll say, fuck Solo Monster. I don't like his show. He said that one time, but he's kind of warmed up to him now because they're friends with Wrestling Soup. You know, that's why. And and everybody in the chat room Monday night told him to plug, because he always plugs Wrestling Soup. and everybody in the chat room said, "Hey, plug Solo Monster." He said, "What you want me to do? Plug everybody's fucking show on here?" And then he's like, "I only plug Wrestling Soup because if Turnbuckle Throwbacks because they're family, they're connected with us. I don't know Solo Monster, but I'll go ahead and plug his show." You know, I just thought that was funny. You know.
Well, are you going to be speaking of that? Are you going to be in the Wrestling Soup chat room tomorrow night?
Probably, yeah.
I think it was on what 9:30. Because
Yeah.
I'm going to try to be in it.
Yeah, that's always funny, you know.
Yeah, but I didn't hear that part. I might have to. Well, hell, I deleted it yesterday. I must have fell asleep on that part. Of course, it was late when I listened to it, but
yeah, it's at the very end of it. You know.
Yeah, that's probably what I did, though. But hey, I mean, we're all wrestling fans. We all enjoy it. I mean, one person, you know what? Just because one likes one likes the other. I mean, if they quit wrestling in general, then none of them are going to have anything really to talk about. So why not just get along with each other? You know, it's not a podcast wars like the Monday Night Wars. You know, it's not podcast wars here. It's just everybody's got their own little podcast thing. See, that's what I like about that Roku box when I get it. They have their own wrestling networks and stuff that you can download onto the box and listen to it. So I'm gonna get into that. I know it's getting kind of late, dude, and I have to wind that thing down pretty soon because I have to get my butt to bed.
Yeah, honestly, I like to hear Solo Monster and Kevin Castle do a show together, just them two talk, because they gave a lot of respect to each other past couple episodes. Solo Monster Sunday said, "Hey, I heard Kevin Castle gave me good props and the feeling's mutual," you know, and Kevin Castle said on Monday, "Hey, I appreciate Solo Monster saying something about me," and I think it'd be interesting just to hear them two talk. I know Jason Solo Monster and Don Tony, that'd be hilarious. Them two to talk, because Don Tony, he's shy around new people, you know. Last time Solo Monster was on that WrestleMania post show, Don Tony went and washed his car and everything. Don Tony kind of shy to new people, but Kevin Castle and Solo Monster, that'd be a good conversation. Just them two, I think that'd be a good conversation. Because Kevin Castle has a lot of old school knowledge from the 70s and 80s about wrestling. And Solo Monster's, he's very good with his history too. It'd be really, interesting to hear them two talk about things.
Yeah,
I think. Yeah.
I mean, you got some very smart guys, man. And we got a lot of guys just not Mish, but Don Tony just kind of seems like the odd one out sometimes. You know.
He's the child, he's a character, but he's funny though, man. He's like Missionary said, Don Tony's always complaining. He'll put his medical records on Facebook. He don't have to do all that stuff, but it's fucking hilarious. We love the guy. We love him for it. He's funny. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a character.
Did you see when he was talking about his grandma took the picture with Hogan or something like that? And he was like, "I swear on my dog's life, my grandma."
Exactly. I'm not kidding you. I swear on everybody. I swear on my grandma.
Kevin, we can quit this show today, and you ain't got to speak to me ever again.
It's fucking hilarious, dude.
It is.
And they're like, and he's like 10 years older than us, and he's talking like that. But that's that old school talk, I like that. That's funny. That's that old school mentality. I'll prove it to you. I ain't bullshit. Or it's just the way he talks, it's just hilarious.
That motherfucker.
That motherfucker. I like when he said when he almost got in a wreck because somebody was playing quote jungle music, and he got out of his car and started throwing snowballs at the guy. Turn that fucking jungle music down. That's what Don Tony says. I just thought that was hilarious. I was just imagining it in my mind when he was saying it. I could just see Don Tony throwing snowballs at somebody. Just a big troll, just going around throwing snowballs. That'd be like me going around throwing ice cubes at people on the road. Watch where you going, motherfucker. Yeah. Bill be like, calm down. You act like DT, man. Quit throwing ice cubes at people. That should be funny. But
it was too funny though. But yeah, that's.
Hey, didn't that Hogan interview? If you saying it, I don't know if you're saying it or not, but didn't it come off kind of staged? Him crying about his daughter and all that crap.
Because, dude, just like when Mish and them was talking about it, I believe it was Mish. No, it was DT and Kevin Castle. It sounded like because they were going back in the time to date it and stuff, and that was just bullcrap, man. Hogan is trying to make it like 6 months later than what it really was, and it wasn't. He's like, you can't get to Hogan on these specific dates because he then has to go back and he can't give an account for those times, and that's true because it's a lie. And you're right. Him trying to say, oh, well, around our neighborhood, everybody used to say that. That's how we greeted each. No, damn, they don't. He's just trying to. He's full of crap, and he's just, please, brother, please forgive me where I can get back on WWE because not only him, but hell, man, the old Jimmy Snuka got taken out of the Hall of Fame tonight too. Can you believe that?
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay, one more thing before we get to Jimmy Snuka. You saw the interview with Hogan though, right?
Right.
Did you notice how you remember he said, I didn't know I was being recorded. That was a rough time. Why didn't the interviewer ask Hogan, what were you doing on the tapes? Why didn't she ask him that? He would have been like, oh, I was having sex with my best friend's wife. You know, why didn't she ask him that? You see, because they probably did the interview off camera first. Like, hey, what we going to go through? That's why I said it's staged. Because the natural question would have been like, oh, you didn't know you was being recorded? What were you doing? Oh, I was having sex with my best friend's wife. You know, so she would have if she would have brought that up, she would have destroyed him. Like, well, you realize you're making a sex tape, right? You know, the sex tape wasn't, it was just a recording video. That's like the way they phrase it, you know.
He can't do that because.
And when she mentioned his daughter's poem to him, he went, that poem's 3 or 4 weeks old. He's still crying about it. Come on.
Well, what it is, dude, is it's when these guys go through these interviews, much like they do like with Conan O'Brien and Jimmy Kimmel, that off the set when they do a run through of the interview beforehand. That's what they did, and they're like, what can we say? What are we not going to bring up? They already knew this was a sex tape. That's why they weren't even going to try to mention, well, what were you doing? You know, they were just trying to get specific because it was already implied that they know that it was during a sexual encounter that these conversations took place.
Hogan agreed to do that interview with that network. He probably said, hey, don't embarrass me, make me look good, and I'll do the interview. You know, it was all staged. Yeah. And she probably said, this is the questions I want to ask you. You know, he'd be like, okay, I'm going to get teary-eyed at this point. It looked real good. And I'm going to wear all black too, brother. You know. But what happened with Jimmy Snuka?
Well, what I've heard, it come out yesterday, Jimmy Snuka was charged with the murder of his girlfriend from 1983.
They finally found proof for that, huh? Because I heard that he got away with that. I've heard DT and KC talk about that.
Yeah, they said. Okay. Yeah, they had said that they had somebody a few months back had reopened the case again and was going back through it, and so they ended up thinking that they have enough evidence and they're going to try him now, even though he's 72. Him and his wife, they both went and he turned himself in and paid his bail and come out. So he didn't get arrested at home because they were saying at some point he got arrested at home. But one of the guys that was a lawyer said that wasn't the case. That, you know, like a lot of stars, they say, okay, you're wanted for this, come and turn yourself in. They'll go turn themselves in, and that's what they done. But I read tonight before I talked to you that that Jimmy Snuka, that Vince has taken him out of the WWE Hall of Fame. So here we are now with Snuka gone and with Hogan gone within a month or so for that particular thing. Now, he's being charged. He's not guilty of it until they go to court. But, you know how that goes now, man. He's 72 years old. You know, what's he gonna do? Jump from the prison cage and do a super fly across the prison bars? He's too old for that stuff, man. But that's what it was. So Vince has taken him out of the Hall of Fame now, so he's no longer in there either.
I hope his daughter don't get released. I hope none of that stuff falls down on his daughter in any way. You know, we don't be associated with you no more because your father. Bye bye. You know, I hope nothing bad happens to her. Tamina Snuka.
Yeah, that's
right. But you know how WWE is though. They can say, well, we don't want you here, or they could look for politics. You know, they don't want somebody there. You know, like when they fired Emma, and then they hired her right back the next day for when she stole that iPod case,
right?
Or whatever it was. Then they hired her right back. So Tamina Snuka, there's a lot of controversy. They might just release her or find a way to release her. Now, granted, they can't. They could do what they want to, but they'll try to make it look legit. You know, they'll wait for her to mess up or something because that's bad press. They don't want no bad press around them and all that shit.
They've had nothing but bad press, dude. You know that.
But I'll tell you a good topic for an upcoming episode we could do, and that'd be dead wrestlers. Because all the WrestleManias from the 80s, man, all the guys are dead. You know, the Ric Flair talks about the WrestleMania 8 main event with him. Well, he was the co-main event. Him and Macho Man and Miss Elizabeth and Mr. Perfect. All of them was at ringside, and all of them's gone now but Flair.
Yeah.
Because Flair would talk about that. He said, man, I watched my WrestleMania 8 match with Randy Savage. He's not with us. Mr. Kurt Henning's not with us. Because that was his executive consultant at the time, his manager. And then Bobby Heenan's still with us, but Miss Elizabeth's not with us. You know, it's amazing, dude. Like if you watch WrestleMania 1, WrestleMania 1 through 5, you won't believe how many dead wrestlers are on there. You know, Bam Bam Bigelow. I mean, Macho Man. There's so many of them. You know?
Yeah, I think. Well, see, that's a good idea because I had listened back when you remember when it was the Chris Benoit anniversary, and they were talking about it on Don Tony, and they were kind of bringing that fact up about a lot of wrestlers back, especially with the WrestleManias and stuff, aren't no longer around. So that's a good talk. We can talk about dead wrestlers. You know, we can talk about like Benoit, the Benoit thing. You know, and different kinds of stuff related to that. So yeah, we'll definitely do that our next video. So that's a good plan.
All right, well, let's go ahead and sign off here. All right, ladies and gentlemen, my co-host Bill
Mack,
and Yapika. Yapika.